This modern map of Orrewus is very familiar to us now, and we may be forgiven for thinking it's always been like this. However, if we were to go back around 70 years, the layout of the village would have looked very different. Back then the village was less than half the size it is now and was home to about half the number of people. Orrewus was a small community dotted with farms and lots of wide open spaces where everyone knew everyone else. This aerial photograph taken in 1954 shows large areas of open land, and this land was destined for new houses and became Deepmoor Close, Walkfield Road and Churchill Crescent, and Micklehome Drive. This film will cover the period from the 30s to the end of the 1950s, and will look at 4 main areas: places, employment, education and recreation. Let's start by having a look at the village itself. Many of the street names we know today have roots going back hundreds of years. Most have stayed the same, but a few have had several changes of name. The top end of Main Street towards the A38 was called Station Road. Wellfield Road was originally Furlong Lane and possibly Oddfellows Hall Road. Park Road was known as the Dock. Furlong Lane was Back Lane and Post Office Road was Post Office Lane, and before that Market Street. Exchange Road was Turnley's Lane after a family of village basket makers, and prior to that it was called Malthouse Lane. William IV Road was known as Old School Road because the houses facing it, in what is now Park Road, were the original village school. The many alleys in the village have names too. A few of them we still use today. The alley from Main Street to Furlong Lane was known as Peg's Alley, Christian's Alley, or in latter years, Bank Alley. The alley from the George and Dragon to Furlong Lane was unsurprisingly called Dragon's Alley, and the alley running between Main Street and Walkfield was Dickinson's Alley, named after the shop that was adjacent to the alley. What we now know as Mays Walk was Mays Alley, and Fairies Alley was named after Fairy Dolman, who lived nearby. The local name for Dart Lane was the Slang, and the War Memorial Triangle was called the Green.